Ultrakill is what a lot of people would consider to be a boomer shooter, or a fast-paced arena shooter that takes heavy inspiration from some of the earliest FPS games like Doom, Quake, and Wolfenstein 3D. Of course, the genre has come a long way since then, with titles like Ultrakill, the modern Doom games, and Brazilian Drug Dealer 3. I opened a portal to hell in the favela trying to revive Mid Aya, I need to close it, bringing new innovations while sticking pretty close to their roots. One such way of improvement is through the controls. Back in 1996, game developers seemingly didn't know how playing video games worked, leading to some particularly strange control schemes being shipped. Rather than our golden standard of WASD that most games ship with today, Quake shipped with something different. Up arrow, comma, down arrow, period. Maybe I'm too modern pilled, but this control scheme is just so strange to me. Of course, it's like this because many of these early games were based around keyboard controls, and using the mouse to look and shoot was more of a secondary option. Nowadays, using WASD and a mouse just makes sense and is generally a pretty comfortable control setup. But what if we threw all of that comfort and years of muscle memory out of the window to play Ultrakill on brutal difficulty using the original Quake control scheme? Ultrakill has a lot of new buttons that aren't present in older games. Hell, the concept of an alt-fire wasn't common until quite a while after these games came out. And there are a lot of inputs we're just gonna have to compromise with or unbind entirely. I did take a couple of liberties with my controls though. I allowed myself to use my mouse to aim and shoot under the condition that I held down middle mouse the entire time. Did I stick to that? No, but at least it was an attempt. Since I wasn't using them for turning, I also allowed myself to use the arrow keys for movement at all times, since I did not want to stretch my hand to the Alt key every time I needed to walk left. Otherwise, my keybinds are somewhat normal. Of course, since Quake didn't have a crouch button, I was forced to pick between dodging and sliding for my sprint keybind, and I ended up going with sliding for this run. As I said before, I also have no alt fire and am missing most of the quality of life keybinds regarding weapon and variant swapping. For this challenge, I decided to play on a fresh save file, meaning that in addition to the challenge of this f***ass control scheme, I'm starting from scratch with my weapons and variants. Not that I'd get to use most of the variants anyway, since no alt fire, but some of them did still find some use down the line. As an additional rule, I turned on PSX downscaling and set my game to 360p with texture and vertex warping just to give the game a little more crunch. With all of that out of the way, I finally get to start playing the game and...
Yeah.
Oh! You can slam it!
Goated?
You can slam it!
After almost failing the tutorial, I slowly got my bearings and made it through to the beginning of Into the Fire, where I came to my first roadblock.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
It appears we have reached the end of the game.
With no alt fire, I can't use the piercer to break this glass and move forward, and with no other weapons to use, I thought I was stuck. I was in a call with a friend at the time, and he introduced me to our way out. Right. Using this pipe, you can sort of mash yourself in there to clip out of bounds, giving us a way to skip this segment of the level. We use this to skip to the next room, play a bit more, and okay, that's more glass. Okay, so back to pipe clip. Once we're outside, instead of trying to follow the normal path while out of bounds, I got on top of the starting room and used slam storage off of this little pipe thingy to send myself straight into the encounter with the malicious face. Once I was here, the fight itself wasn't an issue, and after about a half an hour of theory crafting and maybe 10 minutes of playing the game, I was finally through 01.
Oh, wait, this is the stage with the swords machine! I remember now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's no checkpoints there. The main issue with this stage is I don't know how I'm going to pass I don't know how I'm gonna pass the shotgun door. Where I have
you can
to
punch.
Well yeah, but I don't have Knuckle Blaster to explode the debris where I have to blow it up.
No, but you can projectile boost.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right. Wait. Oh!
That's kind of crazy.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different stage. I'm horrible at this video game, bro.
I think it's so funny you can't move while you're parrying.
Yeah, literally I can't. Hey, I got the shotgun.
Yeah. I just realized hard damage might actually be an issue because you can't really get a lot of style sometimes because your movement.
Nah, that's fine. I thought I was dead, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't hit a
I
single
just
berry.
realized you can use like the coin shot, but you'd have to unequip the normal one. Well, you can't use coins. Never mind.
Yeah, no, there's no point in me swapping variants unless I'm swapping to a alt.
Yeah.
Oh.
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 Negative aura.
Yeah, negative aura. I'm f***ing up so bad, bro.
It's like you're playing for the first time again.
Bro, do you really think I was moving like this the first time I played this game?
Okay.
Oh, hey, that's the end.
Ah, yeah, that's it. Forgot how short this level is.
At this point, I was starting to get a better handle of what I was doing, and I started to use the slide as my primary form of movement so I could keep my hand close to the melee bind for when I needed it. Moving into 05, this was the second major roadblock of the run. Without great mobility, the servers proved to be a pretty big issue, which was made worse by the fact that I don't currently have a ton of damage options at my disposal. Eventually though, I got wedged into this corner and the Cerberus kinda just stopped. I guess it couldn't keep line of sight through the other Cerberus, and it got even better once the second one properly spawned. I was able to stand on their heads in the corner and just chunk them down, and even though I died after I let one enrage, a couple runs later I learned from that mistake and killed them both at the same time, finally clearing Prelude and getting into the real game. Getting into Limbo, the start of 1-1 wasn't too difficult, leading me straight to the nail gun. Normally, I would be pretty excited for this, but unfortunately without magnets, the nail gun doesn't actually do that much for me. I still use it from time to time, but it's only really good occasionally. From here on, the rest of the challenge really comes down to pulling through combat encounters and finding skips wherever I can.
Hey!
Oh,
I did it!
After skipping a decent chunk of 1-3, I came to the first really difficult combat encounter, the Hideous Mass. Under normal circumstances, this fight isn't a big deal, but my conditions aren't exactly normal here. With generally pretty limited mobility, it was a major pain to play around the very large attacks it would throw at me. Attempt after attempt, I kinda just kept throwing myself at it and hoping I could chunk it down fast enough with the shotgun to clear the stage. Of course, this didn't even work slightly, and I had to make a change in my strategy. It was at this point in the run that I started parrying everything. If it was parryable, I was gonna try and hit that shit, since if I can't get away from the attack and I'm not mobile enough to get into heal, I may as well just punch it back to them and avoid damage in the first place. With a bit more time and practice, here's how my winning attempt went.
crazy.
That was kind of aura? Oh my god.
Yes.
After 63 resets and about 20 minutes, I was finally through 1-3 and got to make my way to the end of Limbo. At this point, spirits were kinda low. If the Hideous Mask took so long, I was worried that we would have much more trouble with some of the bosses coming up. That's not a big deal right now though, we're just taking a stroll through here before heading into Lust and... Wait, why do I hear a sick bass line? V2 is a very mobile boss, and I can't keep up that easily with my lack of a dash and general inability to move. As the fight went on and the attempts kept rolling though, I learned that almost everything V2 throws at you is parryable. Their shotgun is pretty easy to parry, but if you get the timing down, you can even parry the revolver and piercer shots. Their shotgun cores are unfortunately not parryable, but I found that I could projectile boost my own shotgun near the core and use the explosion to direct it away. Eventually, I pulled all of that together and made one final push to clear the stage.
Oh my god, I parried a coin!
He is flying.
Oh my god! It's then done!
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh. It's still not as bad as the Hideous Mask.
Getting the Knuckle Blaster would be sick, but unfortunately, I don't have a keybind to switch arms, so it's getting bound to the 8 key, doomed to be irrelevant for the rest of the game. Moving forward, Lust was easy. There were some segments that were annoying, like the spiral stairs on 2-2, but the layer didn't really take all that long. For much of this layer, combat is almost completely optional. The biggest challenge, I think, came from 2-2, with these electrical panels you have to break to open the door. Once I figured you could blow them up with a projectile boost though, the rest of the stage wasn't an issue at all. I finally got the rail cannon, and while I am unfortunately missing the tools to drop a superconduction nuke, I can still get some good chunk damage with it. 2-3 isn't particularly bad either, the main issue being the first Mind Flayer. These things are pretty scary and... oh, never mind, level's over. I thought that the Mind Flayers were going to be a way bigger deal, and that the stage was going to take me forever to complete, but nah, everything's fine, and hey, what's that sound? Well, now that that's over, I get to enjoy my nice little train ride and oh, come on! The corpse of King Minos is a really cool set piece to finish off Lust. This guy is big and is going to punch you. It would be a shame if I could just... This fight, as cool as it is really easy, and this stage as a whole was one of the shortest in my entire run. Unfortunately, I more than make up for this going into Gluttony. 3-1 is not my best stage, and there were some unfortunate rooms.
Why can't I move? I'm done for. Wait, maybe not. No, I'm done for
Yep.
still.
It's over.
Wait, there's a bloodworm in there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I want that.
This may be the worst spot to fight them.
No, this is the best spot to fight them. What are we talking about? That was awesome. Maybe it's not the best spot to fight them.
You can just skip this room. You can fight Minos Prime right now.
No. I cannot fight Minos Prime right now. You are actually objectively lying.
You can fight him right now.
I'm actually just fumbling. I'm fumbling so bad. Oh my god, finally.
Yeah. He's weaving on you.
I'm gonna weave on you.
Yes, please. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Oh my god.
Yes.
But eventually, I pulled through and made it to 3-2. I was almost done. Just one measly boss fight and I'd be on my way. I haven't fought him in a while, but I don't remember Gabriel being that bad. Why is there still an hour and a half on the recording? Fun little fact, this is the first time I fought Gabriel on Brutal. I just didn't play past Lust when Brutal difficulty released, what, 2 years ago? I also severely underestimated how much they actually buff him on Brutal compared to Violent. I mean, look at all of these changes. Bossman is fast as hits hard, and to top it all off, I still can't dash. Fortunately, I can still dodge some of his attacks by just sliding, but that doesn't really matter once he speeds up in phase 2. You see this? He outpaces the slide when he's doing the spear attack now, and he hits twice. What am I supposed to do here?
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you might be able to dodge the phase 2 spears by sliding downhill on like the little divot.
If it weren't for this little tech, this fight might have been impossible. Basically, by sliding in and out of the divot around the center of the stage, my velocity changes just enough to dodge his drops, and then all I have to do is parry the spear throw. His other attacks are still pretty oppressive, but this is doable. At this point, it was super late at night, maybe around 2 a.m. I was tired and actually getting sick for probably unrelated reasons, and yet somehow through all of that, I managed to lock in for one final attempt.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I was finally done. Well over an hour of attempts and about 5 hours of recording had finally led to the completion of Act 1 with the worst control scheme known to man. As a bit, me and my friend decided to play a little guessing game of how many attempts it took.
Oh my god. That's awesome. Oh my god.
Yikes. But anywho, that's it. I cleared Act 1 with some old ass controls and restrictions that this game was not meant to be played with. And I only had to clip out of bounds a little bit for it to be possible. If you guys enjoyed, please let me know down below, and I might just run this back again for Act 2. For now though, that's going to be it from me. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.
I don't remember. Do we fight his hand again? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so, no. Bite his foot. Eh. My bad.
Chick, that's gonna go in the video. I hope you know
Okay, okay.
that. Yeah, f you, pal.